Hey guys, Paul here from Meldrum Performance Coaching, back with another video podcast thingy. And today's topic is why young new trainers should work in a commercial gym. So there's been a ton of hate recently for commercial gyms, and I do get it. There's crazy training going on, people do crazy stuff, they don't care about members, all that kind of stuff that we hear all the time. We're always so focused on the negatives that we don't really see the positives for it. And as a new trainer to the industry, the commercial gym is one of the best places that you can go to cut your teeth. And there's a few reasons for that. And what I want to do in this podcast is explore this, because I'm I have quite a few students who are dealing with this dilemma themselves. So I thought this could help everyone out. Now, let's go over some of the disadvantages. The first one is rent. Rent costs money, that we all know that sucks. That's not the best thing in the world, okay? So we can move past that. Other thing is, there's competition with other trainers. Yep, that's a problem. You're seen as part of the machine. It's hard to bring external clients in. There's a few things going on there. And versus working in a private facility where you can get mentorship, you can learn, you've got a guaranteed wage, etc., there are some downsides. But there are a significant number of upsides. The first one that we're going to talk about as working in a commercial gym is sheer volume. Volume is super key when you're starting out as a personal trainer, because you want to have a large volume of clients that you get exposed to, so you get more and more experience of dealing with different types of people, not just physical makeup and different goals, but also psychological makeup. So learning to talk to people from a different demographic than what you're used to, talking to people that you wouldn't normally click with. It's a really valuable skill to have. So that is you got volume of people there, which means you can get volume of clients there. You can make a ton of money working in a commercial gym just through the sheer volume of people there that could be looking for your service. So this is one thing where a lot of people, when they start off being a PT, they've got no career capital. I wrote an article for PT on the net, Personal Trainer Development Center, about this topic, where you need to have a high degree of career capital before you start really going out by yourself. And what that means is you got a high degree of clout, you've got authority, people know who you are, you've got a track record. When you're going out by yourself, you don't have that. If you've just started, it's a simple matter of fact statement. You don't have a list of clients that you've worked with, you don't have testimonials, you don't have all this kind of stuff. And you're trying to attract people to come to you versus all the competition that's out there. People who develop career capital, it's not really easy to do. Online marketing is incredibly hard. Versus in a commercial gym, a lot of the time they give you the client. They say, hey, Paul, here's the client. This person's looking for this, this, and that. Can you train them? Yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am. You can just say yes very, very quickly, and you get exposed to clients. So it's a really easy way to build up a really large client base quite quickly. Second thing is, as well as volume, you've got variety. So what I mean by variety is when you start off by yourself and you're trying to do it with your own stuff, money is an issue. Exercise equipment is not the cheapest thing in the world. It's not the most expensive, but it's certainly not cheap. When you work in a commercial gym, you're exposed to tons more equipment than what you'd have in the average home studio. And it's much better off when you're a beginner to have more options rather than less, because you don't know how to substitute exercises as well. You don't have as much creativity. You haven't got a bigger toolbox to draw from when it comes to using things like barbells and dumbbells. So having machines there, having cables there, having all this different stuff that's in commercial gyms makes it really, really easy to do. So it makes program design easier to do. And then you also get the ability to create that diversity in your programming. So when lying hamstring curl is taken up, all right, cool, what else could work? Swiss ball leg curl, slider leg curl, etc., etc. So this will allow you to actually start building up that exercise vocabulary. The next thing in a commercial gym, working in there, is risk. And risk is positive. I know that sounds like a bit of an oxymoron, a bit of contradiction, but risk is a very, very positive thing to have, because it will force you to work a little bit harder. It will push you out of your comfort zone. Now, yes, there is a risk inherently to signing a contract where you're going to be paying $250 to $400 a week. The most that I've seen paid in a commercial gym is $440 a week. Done that myself. It's a lot of money off the bat, so there is inherent risk in there, but there's also therefore a push to get done. And the risk of working in a commercial gym and paying $440 a week rent, let's just say that as a higher number, let's say 500, is a lot less risk than having your own studio and having your own facility rent and commercial overheads and all the other expenses. So really, when you compare the two, the option is a lot better. But I really like the idea of risk. I really like the idea of putting it out there, because if you can get it done there, you can get it done anywhere. And it's a really reaffirming thing to know that you've gone into an environment, you weren't sure what you could do. It was going to cost you some money, and you had 3 months to build a business up that would make you successful. And that is a really good idea to let you know if you want to do this for the long term, because as we all know from people listening to my podcast and people who are interested in the fitness industry, that like 6 to 18 months is the lifespan. It changes all the time. It's not a super long, it's not an industry known for its longevity, and it's because it's hard, it's challenging. So the best thing about these commercial agreements is, say it's $300 a week. Worst case scenario, if you absolutely hate it, you go and maintain a client book of 5 people, 5 sessions a week, you can cover it, and then you can get out of it. So your risk is still there, but it's a lot lower than having a facility and signing, say, something that I did, $120,000 a year lease. That's something that's a lot scarier in terms of risk. Other thing with commercial gyms is interaction. So when you're by yourself, you do not get exposed to lots of different things, and you kind of fall into your comfort zone. I would say in my first 3 years, when I started out as in the personal trainer, long time ago, before Trump was even a reality TV star, I learned the most technical stuff about training and the most different training variety and different approaches in my first 3 years compared to any other time, despite the fact that I have a much wider knowledge base to draw from now, and I've got more time to study. From the sheer number of other trainers there, the number of commercial gyms that I worked with, I had a passport agreement where I can go to multiple ones. I really found a lot of stuff there that I wasn't aware of before, I wasn't exposed to. I got exposed to Olympic lifting, kettlebells, boot camp stuff, strongman work, bodybuilding, sports performance. I got exposed to a whole bunch of crazy stuff too, Pilates, yoga, all these different movement styles and disciplines within the constraints of a commercial gym. I also saw some crazy shit, and some of the crazy stuff was actually really, really beneficial. I did some of the crazy stuff, and I'm glad that I did it with myself. I didn't do it too much with clients, thank God, because of the risk inherent in it. But that kind of stuff allowed me to create a better filter to be able to figure out what I wanted to do in the future. And the more exposure to different things, the better problem solver I became. So now there are a few more advantages, but we won't go on for too long because it's a policy of this podcast that we keep it under the 10-minute mark. So one of the things that I just wanted to get across with today's video/podcast is the commercial gym is not a bad idea. If you're a new trainer to the fitness industry and obviously you want to get involved, you want to succeed, one of the fastest ways to push yourselves is to actually try that out. I know there's a bit of risk in it, so obviously speak to your family, speak to your parents, speak to your partner, speak to whoever you need to. But if this is something that you really want to do, the commercial gym is a fantastic place to start. It can give you a very lucrative income. It can provide you with a ton of experience. It can allow you to decide if the industry is right for you. And on a personal note, even though there's no evidence for this, all the best coaches I've ever met and actually worked with all got their start in a commercial gym, including myself. So guys, thanks heaps for listening. Any questions, hit me up. See you soon.